famous time. All right, yogi. Oh, already Dave. That's fine. Yeah, of course. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Just good to down-regulate the system a little bit. That's good to have you here. I was looking forward today. I feel that yin is really one of those things you're like, can't wait, can't wait. Just because you know how good you feel afterwards. Nice. Let's come into a seated position. Good. Ah, that's exactly what we need. Have a little of a moment. Close your eyes. Whew. And just realize how you're feeling. And it's an interesting and relatively simple way to tune and check in with yourself is to finish the sentence, I am aware of, and then pick a sentence. So it could be, I'm aware of sound. That's the thing that is really present. I'm aware of the taste in my mouth, for example. Or smell is what is really drawing my attention. So maybe sit still. Take a couple of rounds of breath and notice which sense. So you'll kind of scan all of them, bringing you into the sensational experience, bringing you into this moment and into your body. So you are all individually in your mind, finishing the sentence, I am aware of, and then pick one of the senses. I've been doing it quite regularly lately, specifically in the morning to start my meditation, but also during the day, and realizing it does change. And then we'll do a second one, also the same sentence, I am aware of, and then name a sensation in the body. So I am aware of cold skin, warm skin, heart beating, full tummy, empty tummy, any sensation, tingling in my fingers, tight neck, open shoulders, tight shoulders, whatever it is. And this exercise on its own already brings you into the observer role. And in this way, in the yoga practice, you can scan the different layers of your being. So this is just to bring you into the sensational experience and from a place of the noticing and awareness of the observer. And you can, if you do this regularly, go deeper and become aware of your mental state. So I'm aware of a clear mind, a foggy mind, a busy mind. And you can go into the layer of the emotions, a heavy heart, an open heart, a specific emotion. I'm aware of a sad feeling. I'm aware of a excitement. And it's a very, very beautiful practice to check in with yourself without judgment or attachment. And for today, now and again during the practice, you can just do that. You finish the sentence, I'm aware of. Notice which sense is most present, and then the second time I'm aware of, and just a strong sensation in my hip or whatever pose we are in. Inviting you to repeat that, to stay into the body. And let's now consciously become aware of our breath. Notice your inhale. Notice your exhale. And notice as well, become aware of the subtle movements of the rib cage when you breathe in. Expanding and contracting. a moment of pause. Just probably we've been here for a minute or two, already changing how you feel. And when we speak about changing how you feel and using this practice to transform, to maybe shift something, to let go or invite something, we can set an intention. So you can bring your hands to heart center. Set your intention or dedication. We can bow our heads towards our fingertips. And then open your eyes. Before we move into our first shape, I'll finish the practice 5 minutes past 6. If you want to leave before, I know Dave has to leave a little earlier, please just go, and the same online. I just want to really do a full practice. So if you have to leave before, not a problem at all, just so you know. Let's start in Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet to touch. You can choose yourself how far your heels will be away from your groin. And then you can use a prop to place it in the center, or maybe you use a couple of blocks and put a nice pillow on top for your head to rest. So make it a 8 out of 10. So it is in a space of a relaxation that the muscles are letting go of any resistance. It takes some time. Our minds are often very achievement and goal orientated. So just practicing these kind of being practices, the yin practice, is also very, very good for our central nervous systems, our brain, to accept that it doesn't always have to be a goal. We don't always have to work towards something. We can just be here and experience the breath, the moments, the sensations. It's nice that your chest is open, not in contact really with anything, so you can just breathe freely. And remember that in your yin practice, an exhale out of the mouth is welcome. Make sure your neck and your shoulders are relaxed. We breathe in slowly, but we also breathe out really nice and slow, and your exhale can even be longer than the inhale. I love the concept and the theme of a new beginning. You know, we really have these collective new beginnings as a society. The 1st of January feels like a new beginning for most people on the planet. First day of the month, first day of the new season, the longest day of the year, the shortest day of the year. There's these milestones, the new moon, the full moon. So what does that concept mean to you? You know, we can have that on a macro level. You can have it on a micro level. Every day, every minute, every breath is actually a new moment. And every second, every breath is also an opportunity to change your mindset, to actually use that breath to go, okay, I'm, you know, not so comfortable with the thoughts I'm currently having. Can I do something about it? Can I write it down? Can I, you know, when you feel angry, maybe move the body so that energy can shift. Or when you feel tired, go to sleep. Or when you feel that something is stuck to you, like honey, and you stick even going into water. I mean, we have the ocean right here in Scarborough. We're very blessed. But even consciously going, you know what, I'm going to take a shower, just to rinse off, to wash off whatever honey kind of sticky energy, which doesn't serve me. It's little rituals like that that can really be like a new beginning. And sometimes we'd like to invite new things into our lives, new habits, new way of seeing things. Sometimes it's about letting go, washing something off. It's a moment to reflect, and just reflecting, observing is a gift on its own, a powerful tool. So if this practice symbolizes a new beginning, what would you like to either invite into this practice, which you take with you off your mat into the rest of this day? Or maybe there's something you'd like to leave on your mat. You're like, okay, let me try to leave that on the mat. And I'm particularly saying try, it's a practice. Things sneak back in, habits, patterns, that's okay. But we can break them as well. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath. And then slowly roll all the way up. Nice. We come into a shoelace, but a shoelace is not for everyone. So I'll show you to the front. In Vinyasa, we call it cow face. In Yin, we call it shoelace. So you can bring your right knee in front of the left. I'll show you, and you'll probably quite quickly go like, that's not me, or that is me. So the knees are stacked and the feet are wide. So some of us can sit in between the heels without any props. If that's not you, if you're like, I'm going to break my knees or something feels too tight, an option is to bring 1, 2, or 3 props. And if that also doesn't work for you, there's no judgment. You can come into a half variation. Yes. Just bring your other leg on top, Dave. So we do the same side. Yes. I would extend the bottom leg. So yes. You try to kind of stack your knees. And otherwise, another option, yogis, is also to just be in a cross-legged with your right leg in front. So I'm your mirror. Go. Those are the legs. It's a nice hip opener. Settle into your sit bones. You might want to use a prop. Bring it on the right side of your body. I'm going to use 2 today. And then just place your elbow on your prop and let your arm fall overhead. Yeah, you can reach actively if that feels all right, or you can just let it drop. If for some reason, maybe it's your neck, maybe it's your shoulder, the arm up doesn't work, you can also reach it down. That just stretches more into the neck. When you reach the arm up, it stretches more into the side body, towards the kidney, into the lungs and the sideline of the body. Is that comfortable enough for you, Dave? Doesn't hurt the blocks? No? Okay, cool. Nice. Now try to relax that right shoulder a little bit. Yeah. And with your eyes closed, I also find it so beautiful that with all these practices, you can actually really notice that you can connect to parts of the body without using your eyes. So we call that an inner eye. So you now can identify your left sit bone. You know where it is. Can you feel the connection with the mat, or has it lifted? I always find it astonishing that when you see tennis players playing tennis, they know if the ball is in or out of the white lines without having to look. They just feel it. It's part of their system. And we are getting to know our bodies, listening to the messages, the sensations. Again, as we started practice, you might feel some strong sensations now on the left side of the body. And it's not about intensifying the experience. It's almost more like not backing out completely, but finding a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. And letting the body breathe. So find the breathable edge. And letting the body relax. away from the fight-flight mode, where we reside most of the day, into rest and recovery. Relax your jaw and your face. A sigh is always welcome. And if you don't want to move to the sides for maybe your lower back, you can also move forward at a certain stage as well in the rounding. Nice. Let's all take our left hand and now reach it down. Some of you are already doing that. So rather than reaching it up and over, start to reach it gently, as if you're reaching for something on the floor, but it's not a super active reach. For the last minute, we stay here to stretch into the neck. Notice what thoughts arise. Maybe notice what emotions arise. Your emotions are constantly shifting and changing. And the beautiful thing in our yoga practice, or in the philosophy of yoga, is that we don't identify ourselves with our emotions. They are allowed to be there. So we don't say, I am sad, but I'm feeling sad in this moment, but I'm not an angry person. You know, you can feel sad, but not be a sad person. You can feel angry, which might not even be really relevant to something that happened today. Maybe it's from a long time ago, or something that just triggered something from the past. So you can feel angry without being an angry person, which is a beautiful thing. All right, reach your left hand up so it almost lifts you up. Whoa. Whew, yes. Unravel your legs. You can choose to come back onto your knees slowly and gently. Good. And then from there, we will first come into Baddha Konasana on our backs. So the soles of the feet. You might need two props. I'm using bolsters and pillows only, but you can also use a block here, right at the level of your bra, or where you would wear a heart rate meter. If you want to use a bolster or a pillow, also just right under the heart. The only thing I'd like to ask you is to check that your head is not hanging, but that it's supported by the floor. I'm going to go down a little bit so you can see me. So I know that this is a little high. The bolster will open my chest nicely, but my head will hang. So I'm going to just use a nice pillow so the neck is in line with the rest of the spine. And then the palms are also somewhere resting. Maybe after like halfway, you can put your hands a little higher, but make sure that, then you can really open up here in the armpits. Make sure that they can relax, so they're not floating in the air. They are supported. Soft bend in the elbows. I'm going to put it a little bit lower, so just come up there. Yes. I think you'll need to help me a bit to see if it's in the middle. Is it not too tough for you to see?
No, it's okay.
Yeah. How does it feel?
Yeah,
and your head looks okay. Your neck feels all right, huh?
Yeah, and it's fine. This is my shoulders are.
Yeah, so I would start here. Just give you, that's already also you feel something is happening, but not like there. And then maybe after a couple of breaths, you just move them 1 centimeter. It's not about like, yeah, there's something happening already. You can see and feel that. And then bring the soles of the feet together again, just again like that. Yeah, like that. Yes, good. Nice, Emma. Your cat is watching you. So sweet. Lovely, Paul and Hannah. And a lovely pranayama is on the heart and on the tummy focus. So breathe into the heart space. It's already lifted. A blossoming, an opening wish sensation image when you breathe into the heart. And a total softness. What image comes up? A melting, a softness. What image comes up when you, on the exhale, can apply that softness to your belly, your tummy, the organs, your digestive organs? I almost don't want to give you mine because I don't want to create a different image in your head. But inhale for an opening, a blossoming, energetically uplifting energy. Maybe it's an image from nature. Just notice what comes up, and then the exhale is softness. It almost happens on its own, like a fifth, like a sigh. Notice the rib cage, the floating ribs, rise and fall. Can you soften the jaw and the face even more? Slow down the breath, deepen the breath. Quality time, you time, self-care, digesting, regulating. Reflecting, feeling, being, breathing, just enjoy. Take 3 more rounds of breath. Deep breath into the heart, blossoming, opening, uplifting. And soften into the tummy, let the belly relax. Last deep breath in this shape. Deep breath out. And then you can lift your chin towards your chest. Maybe you want to help. You can use your hands and then bring the knees together. And then roll onto the side. Come into a seated position. And then you will bring your left knee in front of the right. Yeah, nice. Oh. Maybe surprise, surprise, this is tighter or more spacious. Just extend your bottom leg there. Huh? Yeah, be careful. We're not here to force anything. Or it is the left shin in front of the right with a cross-legged. Props go to the other side. Yeah, settle in, take a moment. Nice, Emma. Awesome, Hannah. You can start with the arm overhead. And I saw quite a lot of you after a moment went like, this is not serving me, which was beautiful to see. Which is beautiful to see because I like it. That means that you are picking up a subtle message from your body telling you, maybe not longer, let's do something else. And you know that the alternative is there. The edge is there. We don't have to run away from an edge. I mean, it's good to stretch, but you keep stretching into that side body. But if you feel that you are getting into a place where the edge is not breathable anymore, it becomes a bit sharp in a way, then in yin, we definitely do not stay. We just give ourselves some space and make the edge breathable. There is no you have to, you should. Nice. Oh, it's interesting. I really looked forward to class today. And now that I'm on my mat, I'm even more happy than I thought I would be. I'm like, yay, this is so nice. Just to be still. Focus on your breath. You can repeat that I'm aware of a particular sense or maybe sensation. Sensations around the right side of your upper body, sensations in the outer right hip maybe. Can you connect with your sit bones? Are they both into the floor, or is your right hip lifted? Then just come out a little. And then we all take that right hand, just reach it gently down towards the floor. If your head needs support, you can also use your left hand just to support your head. Interesting. On the other side, I found the sensations more intense around the rib cage and towards the beginning of the outer hip here. And on this side, it's definitely more into the bum. Around 5, 6 more slow, deep breaths in. As if you are reaching towards someone or something with your right hand to the side, and that will lift you up in a way. It's often when we move out that we feel that there's actually quite a lot happening. You can roll back onto your knees. And now the next one as well. You know, we are just all different. So let's accept that. Let's just start with accepting that. So hero's pose. Some of you will use a pillow or several pillows. Really, when in doubt, go higher because you don't want to hurt your knees in any way. It helps. You're going to be seated next to your heel, in between your heels and next to the heels. So you're not sitting on the heels. You'll be seated with the heels on the outside. Now, ideally, you keep your knees together. If the knees go out, it's a lot easier, but that actually brings tension. So you want to try to keep the knees together. It helps to bring your hands onto the calves and roll them a little out to the side and then sit down. Now, if you're like, oh, wow, this is not working for me and I can feel I'm a little tight today, then just sit on something or more things. Dave, make sure your toes are pointing backwards before you sit down. So please come back up because now you're bringing tension into the feet. Again, come up. First, just, yeah, and if it's too much, then it's fine. We'll find something. Ah, you are, okay. Then you can do half. So for now, let me actually think. I'll come to find something else for you now. Because if you're injured there, that's going to hurt. Okay, so just make sure all the toes, including your pinky toe, is in the floor before you sit down. Lovely. And the right arm comes underneath the left. Good. Let me put the timer. I'm just thinking about an alternative for you, Dave, while I put the timer. But I can't multitask today, I can see. I know. What you can do, Dave, is actually do one leg like this. Good. And bring the foot on the inside. Yes. Right arm underneath the left. Yes. Now you don't have to hold on to the hands. You can also just bring them together, or you can bring your hands to your shoulders. Yeah. And then you try to sit up as straight as possible. You can draw the elbows a little in. Yeah. So that's already stretching and creating space in the neck. And you can close your eyes. Every time you exhale, tell your shoulders, just tell them, relax. They can drop away from the ears. It's very subtle. Yin is very, very subtle. It's the subtle body. It's not the gross body. We're also playing with our energy. Very meditative practice. So the I am aware practice, I'm aware of a sensation X, Y, Z, and then the second I am aware of a sensation is called an unconditional check-in. And when you share this, sometimes you do this in a group setting. The biggest thing is that, and it's a beautiful practice, is that when you share, you know, or the rule, I don't like to call it a rule, but the agreement, let's say, is that the other people or person listens to you and doesn't say anything. It's very active listening. So one of the things that is very common to us is that we listen. Well, you've probably noticed yourself when you listen 150% to someone without even having your own story about what the person is telling you. It's very common for us to listen to something and go, oh, I can't wait to tell something about this topic myself as well. Or like I do it too. And it's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. But specifically when someone is sharing maybe something that's like quite touching or important to them or emotional, it is specifically for extroverts, and I am an extrovert, not easy to not react, to almost just listen. Just listen. Because often people just want to be seen or just want to be heard. We don't always have to fix it with a solution. Now, we're going to change the arms. Before, you can make a decision if you want to go a little higher, if you want to stay or test. Yeah, I feel that now I've got the space. Just because I've been here for a while. If you want to come out or change your legs, you obviously can. We've got the same amount of time with the left arm underneath the right. And Dave, you can change your legs. Yeah, and then also do the left arm underneath the right. Be gentle to the body. Nobody is here to give you a grade or a rate, or just it's you listening to the body and respecting your body's needs. Left arm under the right, yes. Find your breath again. Tell your knees to relax, your sit bones to ground, your spine to stay upright. Your breath to flow fully into the body, inviting all the new beginnings, the new oxygen, and letting go of what doesn't serve. Our shoulders can let go, a bit of a squeeze and a blood restriction, which is a good thing. This might also be quite intense in the front of the feet, where the front of the feet here are touching the mat. If it's too much, just come and sit on something. When in doubt, just go a little bit higher. I also find that in the yin practice, you kind of lose track of time. Specifically as a student, knowing that someone else is the timekeeper, you can kind of, high is a wrong word, but you kind of become a little bit like trancy in your breath, in your experience. Enjoy that. We'll stay still for the last bits. Slowly release your arms. Now, please, you've been here. If you haven't stood up, you've been here for a very, very long time. So be gentle when you move out. It's almost like everything is asleep. So use your hands. Slowly come up. Slowly come up. Ooh, la, 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 la. If you want, you just kind of shake your feet, maybe wiggle your toes. I like to come into a very gentle forward fold. Oh. Just stretching out the knees in a total different direction. Let everything be there heavy and dangle. Use this as a rebound. Nice, nice relaxed arms, neck. The weight of your heavy head and skull can just pull a little bit into the neck and shoulder muscles. Take 3 more rounds of breath. And then come onto your bum and onto your back. Take your props with. You can place your bolster. I'm going to use a bolster today, nice and long. Or your pillow or your block in between your knees. Let's keep it quite spacious today. And just roll your knees to the left side, but not too close up. So actually quite a little bit like your knee is in line, in the same line as your hip, or even lower. Good. Then press the back of the head into the floor, or even the elbows, and lift your left shoulder to bring it under. So you like scoop it a bit. Yes. And then bring the arms next to the body somewhere. Your left hand can also come onto the outside of the right leg if that feels nice. And then you've got an option to turn your nose to the right side and extend the twist into the neck. If your neck is happy with that. Your neck will tell you It's up to you to listen. Nice. What can you relax on the next exhale? What can you soften? Maybe start with your toes, the extremities, your fingers, and that will have a ripple effect into the ankles, the wrists. Tell every cell to relax, to renew, to rejuvenate, to take this being as a gift, to restart, reset. Letting whatever doesn't serve you on your mat and creating space for new beginnings, for new ideas, new perspectives. Slow breaths in, slow breaths out. Couple more rounds of breath here. I've noticed sometimes also even in the vinyasa classes and with privates as well, they like put their hands and then they pull and pull and pull, and it's okay to do that now and again just to see where the edge is. But then it's almost like if you don't feel something intense, nothing is happening. And I think that's also one of the things that we learn in Yin. We accept that we don't have to understand, it doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10 of intensity for things to change. It can actually be quite subtle and graceful and kind and soft. But by repeating it multiple times and just staying for longer periods of time, change does occur. Almost a sense of patience, a deeper meaning of patience. Okay, let's bring our knees back. My favorite, sorry, we're doing it for me. No, I'm joking. Supported bridge pose. So you can use a bolster, a pillow, a block underneath the sacrum. Oh, my body always loved this. Always, always, always. This goes, yay, thank you. don't know if it's the same for you, but it just feels relaxing to me. And in a way, there's a quite, I don't have very, well, I have tight shoulders, but there's no tension really in the shoulders if I don't move. Well, I feel that when I lie on my back, my hips start to like ying, 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 ying. So when I'm here, they go like, oh, yay, thank you. It's exactly what we need, to be supported so they can relax. SI joints, the hip flexors, even the organs inside your body, your psoas as well. Slow down the breath. We've got a couple more nice conscious breaths in this shape and in the next shape before we, step off our mats, where we also breathe, but probably not this slow, probably not this aware, probably not this conscious. And the relationship with your breath is such a beautiful thing. Last week I was teaching a new group of yogis. I always love that. Teaching yoga to people that have never done yoga before, and the resistance that comes up and the ideas they have around it. And when I teach yoga to new yogis, I try to really, I hope that one of the things that they take out of that short session, which is like a 45-minute or hour session, I hope that that they take with them the idea that their breath is a tool, that they can practice breathing and how important it is. And for most people, it makes sense because they can feel that when they start to breathe slowly, that it brings a different energy into the body without having to be too scientific about it. It just feels good. It's accessible, it's with us. And practicing that regularly like we do, it's very, 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 very powerful. Sometimes at night when you struggle to sleep, when the full moon is there and life is busy, I sometimes forget as well. It's like, oh yeah, I could actually just do a pranayama exercise now. Some nights, it doesn't happen often that I don't sleep well, but some nights I'm like, yay, thank you, pranayama, thank you, breath, you're here for me, you'll make me go back into that rest and recovery. And just the fact that you're, not counting sheep, but counting your breath will also give you something to do, and the other worries and thoughts, they disappear. So it's a beautiful thing to cultivate, that relationship. So stay with the breath. Slow and deep. Oh, nice. That was actually a real nice one. Nothing wrong with yawning. And you relax your buttocks, your calves, your hips, your pelvis, your tummy. Take 3 more rounds of breath here, nice and deep. 4 to 6 counts to breathe into the nose. 6 to 8 to breathe out. Without too much effort, a little bit of engagement, obviously, to release your prop and then vertebra by vertebra, nice and slow. Roll the spine down. Awesome. Then we do our spinal twist to the other side. I'm just going to scoop a bit. Got space. Prop in between the legs. Let it fall over to the side. Maybe a bit of scooping of the shoulders. See where you want to place your right hand. What feels comfortable can be next to you. And then you've got the choice to turn the nose to the left side. And then it's a melting, a letting go, a softening. Soften your fingers, your toes, the tongue inside your mouth, your lips, a bit of space between your upper lip and your lower lip. Just let the mouth relax. That has a ripple effect on the jaw, the joint of the jaw, the tongue, the throat, even the muscles of your voice inside your throat can relax. Nice, nice, guys. I'm aware of sound, taste, smell, touch, the temperature of my skin. Sight. Maybe if your eyes closed, you can't see, but you can feel light. You know, it's also a sense of like how bright is the light. Do you like it dark? Do you like it light? How sensitive are you to light? I actually didn't know how sensitive I was for light until I moved to Scarborough, where at night we don't have artificial lights. So when the sun, sorry, not the sun, when the moon is like a full moon, woof, it wakes me up. Well, my husband doesn't bother him at all. So we're all different in how we experience the world through our senses. Another thing I can't do is, for example, read and listen to music at the same time. It's just impossible. I get distracted towards the music. The music draws my attention. While if my husband reads and he listens to music, his brain is more focused on the reading, and the music kind of is just a background thing. It's so interesting. It's just fascinating. Again, just an affirmation that we are all different and we experience things differently. And it helps us to also understand that even if we are in a situation of conflict, or you know, with a friend or a loved one, you're like, I just don't understand why they don't see it the way I see it. They literally see it differently. They do. They experience the same situation differently. And sometimes asking someone like, okay, so how do you experience that? Helps more than assuming or guessing or feeling that resistance of getting angry about not being understood in the way you see things. Just asking like, okay, so how do you experience this then? It's like, oh, really? We're very, very, very similar as human beings, but there's also a lot of subtle differences. Let's take 3 more nice slow breaths here. And then gently bring your head back to center if it was turned to the side. We'll put our feet hip width apart as if we are going to come into a bridge pose. So this is a new thing that my spine alignment lady taught me, to just bring your pelvis level. You put your feet like this, you lift your hips halfway once, and then you bring your hips back down. She lets me do that. And then you extend the legs. And there's a bigger chance of being more aligned. If you want to put a prop under the knees, you can. Now I did lift my hips accidentally. Up and down, and then relax. If you want to put something over your eyes, you can. If you want to stay longer in Shavasana and use this time to reflect, to meditate, to journal, feel free to leave the online meeting whenever you need or want to. And now we don't even need to think of our breath anymore. Just be totally still. And before we move out of Shavasana and start to activate everything again gently, can you again finish that sentence for one more time? I'm aware of, and pick a scent. Smell, taste, sound. And a sensation. Maybe an energy. I feel calm, I feel grounded. Or I feel frustrated, or I feel, it doesn't really matter, because we are not identifying ourselves with that very temporary as an emotion or state. It's just an awareness, which can be very useful. And take a deep breath in A nice sigh out. Oh, a fake or a real yawn. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And stretch your arms overhead. Nice to feel your body, to be with your body, to notice the body. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. And you can gently roll to the side. And from the side, you come back up into a seated position. Upright, open, spacious, grounded, here in the now. Let's close the practice with the hands in front of our heart. It's like a ritual of opening and closing our practice, preparing ourselves to step off our mat into the rest of this beautiful day, afternoon, and evening. Thank you for freeing up time to do this class with me, with each other, and most of all, for showing up for yourself. Sometimes that's the hardest thing to do. So well done. Have a lovely rest of this evening. Namaste.